Again, Roger Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day. Happy New Year. This is again from X22 Reports. The homeless situation in California is tragic, and the incompetency of the state is pathetic. We're going to see a little bit of this in the reporting
And
here.
he's talking about all these different politicians who are saying you're concentrating on impeachment, but people are suffering in your states. He tweeted out the following: California and New York must do something about their tremendous homeless problems.
Now, he said New York too, and I don't know how bad it is. California is getting all the publicity for people in tents in the streets, um, but maybe New York is just as bad. I don't know.
They're setting records. If their governors can't handle the situation, which they should be able to do very easily, they must call and politely ask for help. Would be so easy with competence. Now, once again, in California, what are we seeing? We're seeing a homelessness surge to crisis levels in California. In San Francisco and many other towns around San Francisco, going all the way down to LA. What do you see? You see tent cities. Why aren't they out there helping these people? The same thing in New York. Actually, Mayor de Blasio pleaded with Trump because he needs help with the homeless situation. It's wreaking havoc throughout the city. And will Trump help? Maybe not in the way that de Blasio wants. Remember, Trump said he would help. It doesn't mean the help that they want. Trump is going to give them a different kind of help, something most likely they don't want, but will solve the problem. Remember, he most likely doesn't want to just give funds and let these mayors, these governors, just do whatever they want with these funds, because Trump, the Patriots, they all know that this never goes to help the homeless. It never.
Again, this is the problem. We put all these tax funds into different states, different cities, and Montana is just as bad. And we really don't solve the problem by throwing money at it. And this is the same with education, college, teachers, NEA. Uh, Generally doesn't solve problems. Usually there's a lot of waste, and usually there's a lot of inefficiency. And unfortunately, most often, the problems don't get solved. They just continue, and we ask for more money.
never goes to what they were allocated for. They end up being laundered and brought back into their pockets. And we know that Trump is setting them up. There's a reason why he's doing this. Now, very interestingly, as we know, this whole fake impeachment and the whole idea.
Now, this is interesting. A tax lien on Hunter Biden for
Biden.
$100,000 or better.
And what we come to find out is that the IRS placed a tax lien on Hunter Biden for $112,805 in unpaid taxes from 2015. Now, Biden served on the board of the Ukrainian natural gas company, Burisma Holdings, and the Chinese private equity firm, BHR Partners, in 2015. And the IRS stated in their lien notice, we have made a demand for payment of this liability, but it remains unpaid, which it filed with the Washington, D.C. Record of Deeds. Therefore, there is a lien in favor of the United States on all property and rights to property belonging to the taxpayer for the amount of these taxes. So, once again,
So they could come after his property taxes or other things that he has that could be accessible to a lien, property or other things, solid assets.
where did these funds go? Why hasn't he paid the IRS? And to this day, it seems like he still has not. Now, out in the Middle East, we know that all these endless wars, they are coming to an end.
Another very interesting part is the rogue elements and the Trump and the White House putting pressure on these guys, finding them, and then eliminating them. Remember, this is a war of principles and principalities, and it has to be played very sleuthingly, very carefully, very succinctly.
They have countermeasures in place to stop them. And every time They turn the vice, there's more pressure on them. And this is why Trump and the Patriots, they move so slowly, because they understand that there are many of these rogue elements out there, and they have to locate, find them, put pressure. Locate, find, put pressure until they find out where the traitors are. And that's what they've been doing. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. Let's start with post 3768. Now, this is December 29, 2019. Q says no R option in California when registering to vote. Welcome to the D party con. D is in brackets and bold Q. So California is doing what they do best. What do? They manipulate. They money launder. They do all of this.
So are they saying there's no Republican option in California when registering to vote? Ay. Voter fraud. Somehow, some way, we're going to have to address this
And
sick
let's go back to
situation.
post 2621. And Anon, back in December 12, 2018, said, will voter fraud in California ever be brought to light? Q said, yes, watch California. It was deliberate. How many things have we seen happen in California? Quite a bit. California right now, they're trying to manipulate the system so the swamp can remain in power. So what is Q doing? Q is showing us how the swamp is trying to make it difficult for Republicans. Of course, they're going to say it's a glitch, right? They're trying to make it very difficult for Republicans to register. Let's move on to post 3769.
Well, American Independent, Democrat, Libertarian, select only one. No Republican. Wow.
Gives us everything from post 3768, shows a picture of the form, and it says American Independent, Democratic, Libertarian. Select only one. That's all you see on the form. Down below this, it says pick, insert, retry with brackets bold. And when looking at the outside of the envelope, what is missing? The option to register as a Republican. Let's move on to post 3770. So Q gave us a Twitter link to Sean Phillip Hall, and it says voters being disenfranchised in Shasta County, California. Voter fraud, GOP leader, GOP, Shasta County, GOP. And again, the form, they put a little sticky note over their address and everything, and shows the different parties. Nonpartisan, American Independent Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian Party. That is it. Make your single ballot choice below and return this card no later than January 3rd, 2020. Let's move on to the next link here. This is Eat Crow Demo Rats. And it says, my sister got this in California. No mention of Republicans. So this is how California cheats. Yeah, at real Donald Trump is the one trying to cheat in the 2020. You Demo Rats are so stupid. I hope they're never another Demo Rat elected again. Walk away. And once again, it shows the same exact thing. So Q asked the following question. D in kill brackets, party election interference. D brackets, party corruption. Yes, they're interfering with the election and it's corrupt. And we're watching California. I believe Trump and the Patriots, by telling us, or I should say Q telling us to watch California, they're going to expose election fraud. And I believe they recorded and they have been watching all of this through the midterms. And I believe what they're doing right now is they're letting this all play out. Because how do you gather more and more intel? You let your enemy do what they do best. And they're letting them do it. And
All right, so if it's this bad in California, how bad is it in New York and some of the other states where Democrats are ruling? Again, this voting fraud has to be brought to the forefront, and I believe it should have been brought in a year or two ago, even between 2016 and before. But, you know, what can I say? He was elected in 2016. It was bad. Voting fraud was very bad. Millions were frauded out of illegal votes, and it was bad in 2018. I still don't believe we're going to get a handle on it in 2020 or 2022, maybe 2024, maybe, but it's a big, big problem. All right, Julian Assange is going to be brought up here, and Seth Rich, and so forth. This gets crazier and crazier, and I think it's just a matter of timing when this is going to come out.
He does not think they're from Russians, and he said Russia got credit.
And we're getting the same story from 3 different areas here. So let's go back to post 3341. This says, under protection, threat is real. Key to DNC source, hack 187. So Julian Assange is under protection. He is the key to the DNC data leak and Seth Rich. Now, Q has been mentioning Seth Rich.
Seth Rich, wasn't he the one that was killed by the DNC? And they've said that there's been a connection between the two for a long time, but having the documentation and proving it in court, going after the corrupt DNC, that all depends when that's going to come out.
The DNC hack, Julian Assange, and the last couple of posts. Why? Why is Q bringing this up now? I do believe because Julian Assange, his next court date is in February of 2020. And the judge at Westminster's Magistrates set a full extradition hearing on February 25th, 2020, and it is expected to
February 25th, 2020, Julian Assange. Court sets that date.
Last about 5 days. And I do believe what this is all about is that eventually the source is going to be coming back to the U.S., prepared and ready to tell the truth. And I do believe this is why Q says the truth will be told.
All right, so this trial is coming in England. British court sets date for Julian Assange and February 25th. Should be exciting. So when is Julian Assange going to get back over to the United States and testify here? We'll see.
Let's move on to post 3772. And Anon, Lan, NY, MC, tweeted this out. Okay, this is nuts. I received this in a mail. Note on the outside that there is no choice to pick Republican. But open it up, and oh look, there it is. This is corrupt California government. Shows the envelope, shows the choices. And down below, Q says, the point being many R's are confused, must go through additional hoops in order to vote. RE, R party registration. Percent not mailed. Percent supposedly lost. Percent delayed. Percent returned. D _ unchanged. So from these images, it shows the form and it shows how Republicans are required to take additional steps to register. Why was this done? To make it as difficult as possible. They're hoping people will just give up. The question is, why would they do this? With all the exposure to the Tea Party, are they afraid?
You know why they're doing this? To skew the voting, to control it. We're going to move on here. I just know that this voting problem is insane. This is another problem. Our media is creating an emotional conflict, and they need to be called on what is going on. This war is real. People are sick. Watch the news this week. And this was March 3rd, 2018.
Was made today in front of the White House. It showed they can control innocence. It was a direct threat. This is not a game. The mainstream media is creating emotional conflict. So why would they want to create emotional conflict, and why would they want to keep this in the news cycle? Because it distracts from what the Patriots are doing. It distracts from the IG Pfizer report. It distracts from what is happening with the fake impeachment. It distracts everyone and gets everyone.
This is a con game. It's a very emotional game. It's a very powerful game. And they need to be called on it. Anyhow, 2020 is going to be a very powerful year. I still believe, and I believe a lot of things are going to come out in 2020 that is going to change a lot of the political landscape. This voting fraud is something that needs to be addressed, and I believe it's going to be addressed more fully in the next term of President Trump. We will see. Again, wishing you a happy new year. This is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day.